Hey everybody, welcome back to a new episode of Clone Evolution, the Lelanders edition. Hey, welcome everyone. We got a new viewer, welcome. I'll try to say your name eventually. And Fear Legions, welcome back. Yeah, I made it reasonably on time today, and we're into the red internet-wise. Fuck, I'm gonna have to try resetting it. Alright, let's hope that fixed it that time. I don't know if the chat is still connected. I hope so. I was doing an experiment there to see if I can just stop it on the fly. Oh, sweet. Joe is here. Or no, Suki is here. Hey, Suki. She's saying hi, Joe, but I didn't even see Joe in here. Alright, let's get the game started. Man, that is good news. I can just stop the stream and restart it quick and it fixes the internet problem. That's good to know. So we got some good news already starting the show off today. That's sweet. Well, I got some other good news. Hockey season starts tonight. Yeah, welcome back, Mr. George Washington. Now I've been working on my weight loss pretty good today, although I did have an extra serving of rice. I shouldn't have, but the rice tasted so good I just couldn't resist. But at least it wasn't too bad on the sweets. The only sweets I had today was a bit of oatmeal cookies. I had 2 of them. Or was it 3? Fuck, hopefully it was 2. No, and I started getting back into more working out, but I have noticed that working out is rough. So I gotta ease my way back into it, not get injured too much. I miss the days when I was like a teenager and I would just recover from working out in one day, even sometimes a few hours. Now it's like I'm looking at a week. But hey, at least I recover eventually. Slow and steady wins the race. Alright, there we go. A new fragment. Ah, no new fragments. I don't know if anyone's been playing Bet Fury today, but it's been going wild. I think they've been doing a lot of updates and they added a new game. So I'm thinking that's why. I did my Keno strategy and I like tripled my money in a few minutes. I was like, holy fuck, something's working amazing. And then all of a sudden I lost it all. Well, not all, just the Satoshi. I'm sticking with just Satoshi bets. Alright, so what's happening in the game today? What did we see? I was playing it a bit offline while you guys were gone, and I managed to complete all the daily tasks. So unlike yesterday, which I failed to get one done. I do believe today's the last day I'm doing a 10 draw. Let me check. Is the event still going? Or is it over now? No, it's still going. So this will be the last day to do the draws. Holy fuck, I have to do quite a bit in order to reach those. Should we do a 10 draw red scrolls just for the fun of it today? Don't want to be too stingy and always save them. Would be kind of neat to get someone exciting, but... Alright, so I think for a little bit of excitement, we'll do that for a change. I can get another 10 red scrolls back pretty quick, hopefully. Let's do it. Oh yeah, that was pretty good. No gold heroes, but I like Little Dipper, he's not too bad. Harsh Assassin's nice, and Kim is nice too. I think I just burned some of my Kims, so it was nice to get another one back of him. Although I didn't get any Suns. Oh yeah, I did get a Sun hero, that was good. It's not too bad. Alright, so welcome. Oh, Spyro, you're back too. Welcome back to the show. Did you see all the changes with BetFury? It's been a pretty wild day. Now, BetFury added a new Ethereum spin wheel, which is well beyond my pay grade, but it would be kind of neat if somehow I got a ticket to spin the wheel. Yeah, it's super expensive, right? They want you to spend 0.1 Ethereum, and I'm pretty sure that's $100. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. $100 US. I had some weird news today too. I don't know if I was telling you guys in the show. I was looking at a property up north that's like really nice on a lake. It's got nothing on it. It's just land on a lake. I think a few acres, 1,000 feet of shoreline. The lake is one of the most fucking rare archaeological sites in the country. So it's like, I don't know, that shoreline could be worth a fortune. And it's really rare minerals, and it's a mining claim. But I wanted to buy it to preserve it, and I thought as like kind of half-heartedly asking if anyone wanted to go splits and help preserve the land. I didn't think anyone would message back, and it turns out one really nice lady messaged back, and she was saying that she would go splits with it depending how much we could get it for. So it's pretty wild to think. There is people interested in going splits on it to preserve it. But I really don't think I'm going to do it because I got to focus on really getting my garage up north fixed, getting fiber optic internet going to it, maybe a washroom, and then I'll have a backup plan in case anything shit hits the fan. I need a place to stay. At least I'll have a garage up north that will be livable. Maybe not legally livable, but enough for like an emergency situation. It's always nice to have a backup plan of a place to stay. It's always stressful to think, hey, something can happen, I'll have nowhere to go. Alright, thanks for the roses, everyone. Let's send out the big red ones to Suki and some to everyone else. And what should we try first? Maybe a little bit of the casino? Now, I don't know if anyone heard, but there's been some attacks on the internet. I think what happened with the whole Trump administration thing, they talked about fighting net neutrality or some shit like that. I didn't even really grasp what was going on. But then I overheard, forget what TV show it was, or YouTuber. I think it might have been Anomaly. But anyways, one of them was talking about how Klaus, that German guy who's in charge of the Great Reset, he wants to shut down the internet. And he's saying that it's going to happen by some giant terrorist attack that focuses on the internet. And they're saying that not only are they going to try to shut down the internet, but they're going to try to restart the internet and have it like way more censored so that there won't be as much freedom on the internet as there used to be. So I'm pretty sure when he said he's shutting down the internet, he was talking about shutting down all cryptocurrencies as well. So that's a little bit of a sketchy situation we got going with that global Great Reset. Like, I don't know how Bitcoin functions if there's no internet. Maybe it still can, but I hope. No, not to wonder if like that global reset is really going to happen. Hopefully there'll be some leaders that'll fight it. Starting to wonder if there is any left fighting it, but maybe. Cheers to the leaders that still fight the global reset. Now that's what I was thinking. When I reached a certain age, I really had no use for shampoo anymore. I just switched to body wash for everything. Now even with my body wash, I got two different ones. I got the regular one that's just like normal, like perfumey type, smell nice. And then I have ones for when I'm going on exploration adventures in like the woods and the deep outback, which is basically just sulfur. So that way I reek like I came out of a volcano, but it makes bugs go away. And it apparently works good for dry skin conditions. Although I have been getting dry skin in my eyebrows lately, it's fucking irritating me. Might have to try to use more of that. And that's one of the most wonderful things about going bald. You never have to buy shampoo again. There's surprisingly amount of advantages to it. That's always laugh when I see those commercials about going bald and saying it's a bad thing. It's like, well, clearly you've never gone bald because you know how wonderful it is. Alright, so let's see, what else do we got going? Well, yeah, we got a question for the Bitcoin or BetFury. I'll get to that one in a sec here. I'll just start a battle. Let's see, which battle should we begin? Let's try this one. I don't know. Sometimes I'm wondering who is better to use, him or Agatha. Let's try both. Alright, so if you win Ethereum, Tron, on the other ones, yeah, it's a good question. If you start gambling the other currencies, I know the offer that I'm doing to get extra money, they always ask me to bet just Satoshi. So that's why I've been betting just Satoshi. I did try betting the, what is it called? The share tokens, the BTC or whatever it's called. It's weird how the share tokens have two names for them too. I wish it was just one name so it would make it more easy to not get it mixed up. But no, anyways, when I bet some of those, they did give me that back in the, what is it, the cash back. And what was the other question for the stakeout? Oh, hey, Vector, how's it going? Because I notice when, like, my referrals, if they do stuff that gets, wins the other currencies, then I do get a percent of those currencies. So when it comes to referrals, you do. And if you spend them, yeah, you get them in cash back too. I don't know how to get the Sun tokens though. I'm still at 0 for those, and I don't think any of my referrals have gotten them yet, so maybe they're phasing out the Sun tokens. That could be it. Now, I could give everyone a quick update while this battle finishes, because sometimes this one can take a while. Now, there's been some updates to BetFury today. I noticed when they added that new Ethereum wheel, I started getting really bad lag for a while. I was thinking maybe it was my internet, but no, it seems like it, well, it could have been both. Well, I think it was the BetFury thing a little bit too. Alright, I'll go on to some other battles. Let's try the expedition for a bit. How far did we make it yesterday? Not too far. Fuck. Let's try Agatha. We're fighting one red hero. Oh, Suki's got another trip coming up. That's awesome. You know, I noticed that thing, that very common trend with all the babes that I know. It's like they always seem to be going on trips all the time. Is that like a secret thing that you're allowed to do when you're a babe? It's like you could just go on trips. No, it's because you're always seeing, like, if you have any friends that are going on trips all the time on Facebook, your timeline's always flooded with these amazing photographs. No, I know one woman that goes on so many trips, I swear she's been to every place in the globe like 3 times. And she's really hot. No, but she's a little bit, no, I think she's not that much older than me. I always seem to have problems meeting women the same age as me. It's always older or younger. Looking for someone more happy medium. Alright, so anyways, let's get to the BetFury things. Good old lockdown has me dreaming of better days. I think today it was when we're starting our new stricter lockdown, but there's so many loopholes in it. Really, the lockdown isn't that bad. The only one that it fucks over is the store owners, basically. Those guys get fucked so hardcore, it's not funny. Well, it looks like we had one death. Let's bring up the other left screen and check out the BetFury action. Alright, so I'll show you it as an example. When I was betting a few of my BFG or BTCs, then they gave me some back in the cash back. Well, yeah, but your question was asking about the staking. So let's check that out. For staking, I'm getting 33 Satoshi, 5 Ethereum, that much Tether, that much Tron, and that much BitTorrent. So let's withdraw it. And I think, yeah, what is it? If your referrals get it, then you get some of that. I can't remember. Did I cover everything? Excuse me. God, I can hardly wait to the better cashback. Oh yeah, and this was the new Ethereum spin wheel, but you can see you have to be a high roller before you'll get any of these spins. Because you need to bet 0.1 of an Ethereum, and Ethereum's worth, let's check out what Ethereum's worth. I think it's 1,000 each. Come on, internet. Fucker. Let's go back to this while it loads. Oh, there. It came back just as we were doing it. Yeah, Ethereum's at 1,100. Oh, and if anyone's wondering, Bitcoin had the huge rebound that everyone was wondering it would, and it almost gained back everything that it lost. So I figured that was going to happen. Fuck, should have invested. Oh well, I'll never learn. Let's get back to clone evolution. Yeah, so congratulations to everyone that bought in at Bitcoin when it dropped there. Fuck, the drop sure didn't last long. Not even a week. No, I don't really have the money to invest right now. I've got enough just to cover medical bills if there was some sort of emergency, so I'm going to try not to deplete that too much. Normally I wouldn't be saving for medical emergencies, but once you get into your 40s, you got to be more realistic, right? Fuck, I'm losing track of how many people I know my age that have already died. People aren't living as long as they used to. I don't know what it is. Probably sitting around on the computer too much. Yeah, so Suki, where are you going on to your next trip? I thought the airports and everything were in a global lockdown, but I guess depends where you live. New Zealand's probably doing a lot better wise, right? Just don't test anyone and you're good to go. Now, I couldn't believe I looked up the bill, how much Trump spent on testing in the US. Close to a fucking $1 trillion. I was like, dear God, you jackass. I'm so glad he got impeached. That fucking mass testing thing so he could sell vaccines. That was the biggest scumbag move I've ever seen. But oh well. At least he started that goddamn fucking moon mission. I'm so happy he did that. At least there was something good. Queenstown. I think I've heard of Queenstown. I often study maps like all day, every day for years on end. So there's quite a few places called Queenstown, isn't there? So that'd be one in New Zealand probably, right? Or is that Australia? No. Oh. Yeah, let's check out Queenstown. I'll try booting it up here and see how it works. Oh, 4 likes. Thanks, everybody. Queenstown in New Zealand. Yeah, I figured you might as well travel in your own place if you're free of the virus. It'd be sweet to stay there. I was watching an interview with one guy, and he's like, yeah, he wants to travel right to where the heart of the virus is so they can get the immunity. Like, I don't know how good of a plan that is, but it's a little tempting. I would like to have immunity. It'd be nice to get the antibody test and find out you already have immunity and didn't even know you had COVID, right? That'd be sweet. The fuck is going on, man? Yeah, let me try this again. There we go. Alright, so fuck, how is that working? Shit, wrong window. There we go. Sorry guys, I just got a bunch of stuff going on and a whole bunch of different monitors. One day I'll have a hot babe show producer. You just wait and see. I'll make the sandwiches, she can run the show. Now, as much as I joke about wanting a woman that can make good sandwiches, I make pretty damn good sandwiches too. Bacon, lettuce, tomato. Oh man, to die for. Alright, so we'll get a quick look at Queenstown. We'll bring it up on the map while this loads. Yeah, it says there's a Queenstown, USA. There's one in London. There's one in Chadwick. I don't know where that is. Should be one in Africa, I would imagine. But there's also one in New Zealand, so let's check out that one. Oh, boy, that place looks nice. Alright, so I'm just going to check out anything on the gravity well map, see if there's anything interesting about Queenstown. Oh yeah. Alright, I'll turn off the red field for now. Nah, I should really wait for Clone Evolution to crash. Then I'll give a little tour of Queenstown. Looks like a really nice place to go. Fucking anywhere on New Zealand seems amazing. Seems like every continent or place you go always has a cold and a hot place. But I don't think New Zealand does have too many cold places, right? Even though it looks so close to fucking the South Pole. I don't get it. Maybe the southern tip of the fucking country has some colder weather? Yeah, my fucking Satoshi was on a roller coaster today when I was playing that Kino game. I logged in with 100, tried turning it on, made up to 500 in like 10 minutes. I was like, holy fuck, is it skyrocketing? And then I checked another 10 minutes later and it crashed and lost everything. I was like, oh fuck. It's like a roller coaster today. So I don't know if they're adjusting the algorithm or something, but sure seems like it was running a little different today. But I'm assuming the website itself is still very in its infant stages. So I wouldn't be surprised if they are making updates as they go. Was this the last gold chest battle? Fuck. At least we won it. Take this, Van Gogh. We'll cut your ear off. Oh yeah, it's already gone. Sweet. Killing Van Gogh got us the gold chest. Go out of here. There's the purple. Now the Go is the transit system that goes to my house to Toronto. It used to be $10, but now it's like 20, so it's a bit more pricey. Although they have a $10 trip on Sundays, so I might do that once the pandemics are over. Right, so one gold chest. That was pretty sweet. Alright, so we'll have to re-swap in the original team members. I think I'll start with, what's his name in there? Who's that? Oh yeah, the Monkey King. And since these are easier battles, we'll just get a quick look at Suki's trip area. I want to see it. Alright, so first what I'll do is I'll just turn off the gravity wells, everything except for the base layer, so people can get an idea of how special the area is around Australia and New Zealand. Maybe I'll even show Zealandia. Yeah, I do have it. Sweet. Now, I was working on a project about Zealandia, so I have one of the files ready for it if anyone wants to check it out. It's basically during the Ice Age, or the last time the water of the ocean was a little bit lower. New Zealand, it was actually a continent over triple the size. But when the water rose, a lot of it sank under, so there's only just the remaining continent. But you can still make out the outline because it's actually not that far under the water. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of reefs there. Eh? But anyways, I had a great payout for the first few hours and lost for a few hours. Yeah, same pattern I was going through. Isn't that fucked? It seems like we always report the same things happening. Alright, so let's go and check out the gravity wells around that area of the world. Alright, so this is a map that I'm working on, but it's actually an older style map. People in the olden days used them all the time before traditional maps started getting used. But I started mapping the old ones onto Google. You can see each gravity well point seems to usually push land away. So that's why that one's there. That's why the Great Lakes are there. That's why the Hudson Bay is there. That's why the huge fucking water thing. That's why the desert in China is there. Or Asia, or whatever you want to call it. So anyways, if you go to Australia and New Zealand, they got one of the nicest patterns here. Well, maybe second for India and Southeast Asia. I like how it matches the pattern there. But anyways, Australia you can see is pretty sweet. And there's New Zealand. And where Suki's going is right where that little red dot is. But I'll just show you the quick map for Zealandia. So that's what Zealandia used to look like before the water rose. And it's actually an official map. I just drew it on by hand because they didn't have a file already on Google and I wanted to make one. So you can see the gravity well that pushes the land away actually created the little boot around like the Italy of Zealandia. Now isn't it funny that Italy's boot and Zealandia are in the same angle and shape? It's kind of funny. Just way bigger scale, eh? And the gravity well used to be here too. A little tinier one. I was just looking at a volcano and around this area, the one that destroyed Pompeii. Holy fuck, was that ever amazing size. But anyways, let's go to where Suki's vacation is. She's going to Queenstown. That's pretty sweet. And I'll show you what the other field layers look like for the area too. Just so you can get an idea of what to expect gravity well wise on your trip. No, New Zealand is kind of in a neat spot. So you're going to be seeing a lot of mountains, I assume, on your trip. That looks fucking amazing. Mount Crichton. That sounds like an impressive one. Cecil. Y. Oh, Cardona. That was one of the ones on the gravity well lines. So was Gendu Bay, or Glendu. Now the pattern for the red is kind of nice looking. I'll turn off the larger map for Zealandia. And maybe let's turn off blue so it's not overly crowded. You know what I like actually? Turn off the red, leave the blue and the yellow. You can see the blue outlines the exact edge of that continent, and then this line yellow outlines the exact bottom edge. So if you wanted to measure the angle of New Zealand, you could do it with those two lines. It's kind of neat. I don't know, maybe one day science will catch up and realize that these gravity wells push the land away, but I think they're still a little bit a ways away from making it official. Alright, let's get back to the game. Well, I hope you enjoy the trip, Suki. It looks like an amazing place. You can see I love to study in New Zealand, so I thought it was pretty cool that you're from there. And you can get some more pictures shared. I'd love to see more of it. Oh yeah, I should show you the earthquake on how it interacts with New Zealand, but I don't think New Zealand gets hit as bad, right? Or actually maybe it does. Let me check. Now my gravity well map, I've added it with different government official documents so that I can map earthquakes on it, just to give you an idea of where the earthquakes happen, where and why the bigger ones hit where they do. Ooh, yeah, looks like you're going to the, the earthquake hotspot. Not to freak you out or anything. Alright, so let's check it out quickly what kind of earthquakes Suki might expect. But we haven't had many earthquakes lately, so she should be safe, I'm sure. Don't want to freak her out. Alright, so you can see that's the pattern of earthquakes since the year 1900s. And when it comes down to Queenston, as long as you're not on that side of the mountains, it looks like you're going to be okay. And judging where the airport is, you should be fine. But they do have some pretty big ones, eh? 7.8. Oh, I don't want to laugh to make fun of it, but Jesus, that's pretty big earthquakes. Yeah, you can see where the Earth cross line goes. That's why they have so many earthquakes. And it's neat how they stop right on that gravity well line. Then there's like a space. And you can see the big red one was right on the fucking line. Sometimes the line, it seems like if it lands right on the line, it's going to be a bit bigger of an earthquake. Oh, and some of my viewers that are watching out of Romania. Oh, there's the China quakes, if anyone wanted to see the recent ones. I think the recent one was up here, was it? Viewers in Romania, they should just be aware where the earthquakes have been in Europe. It's actually a pretty common spot where they hit. Where the two gravity well lines meet there, that's one of the big ones. You can see it's got a lot of 7.3, 7.5s and shit. So anyone around the Bucharest region, the main reason why there's so many earthquakes there is because of the gravity well point. But maybe scientists will have another explanation of why that is. Maybe it's not gravity wells. I'm sure it coincides with the plates and the gravity wells. Because the gravity wells and the plates actually do map up. Alright, let's get back to clone evolution. Sorry, a lot of earthquakes in the news lately have been getting me interested checking out that well map. I haven't had time lately. Now that ice storm took a surprising bit of energy out of me yesterday, and I got a lot more work to do today after the show. And the hockey games tonight. Canada's got her hockey season kicked back again. Now I'd like to do more videos about gravity wells. I do have quite a few viewers that yell at me and they're like, hey, you gotta stop fucking around playing video games all the time and do more gravity well shows. And I'm like, well, I was just getting carried away with doing too many serious shows all the time. And I want to take a break and do more fun shows. I'll get back to more serious ones eventually. It couldn't hurt to have a little bit more extra audience too, because those serious shows, they don't really attract many viewers. You'll get a couple people into gravity wells, but it's pretty rare. I wouldn't even be into gravity wells, I don't think, unless it was for that bump on the head. I had a whole year to work on them, because that's the only thing I could do, really, while I was in social isolation. Trying not to get overwhelmed by stimulus. No, I love New Zealand's like mycology. They have some of the coolest mushrooms too. You should take pictures of mushrooms in New Zealand and I'll be in heaven. I'm pretty sure that Australia gravity well field is why marsupials are where they are. Because you look at every place that has really weird wildlife and they have some sort of weird gravity well field. Usually really condensed or something. I like just the ones that have lots of colors. I'm not actually into eating and picking mushrooms anymore. And you got to be really careful with mushrooms because sometimes even just breathing near them you can get sick and die. So you have to be really careful. You know, that's one of the main risks when you're doing grass cutting as like a landscaper or like lawnmower person, is occasionally they'll send out crews of guys to cut a field of grass and they'll hit a patch of mushrooms. And when they hit the mushroom patch, the blades kick up all the spores. And then the spores are like fucking like viruses. They're like millions or billions of the spores in the air. If you breathe those in, then you're into the hospital. So that's what happens. Sometimes the entire crews will hit a patch of mushrooms and they're fucked. They have to go to the hospital for decontamination from the poison or whatever. Obviously not all mushrooms are poisonous, but it's so hit and miss that I just try to avoid breathing any of them. Play it safe. But I love to take pictures of them. Now, I was thinking one day if I was ever trapped in the woods somewhere and I had to survive, that's another good reason to know mushroom skills just in case. At least you get some protein. Yeah, you know, mushrooms are actually one of the keys to human evolution or just sentient life and to begin with. And that mushrooms were actually like sped up evolution way faster than the current models have. I like to call it rapid evolution. Has anyone heard about the zombie ants? Now, what zombie ants are is there's a type of mushroom fungus. I think it could be the Amazon, some sort of jungle maybe. And what happens is these ants, if they get contaminated by the mushroom spores, the spores get into the brain of the ant and change it into a zombie. And it's weird because the zombie effect when the mushroom takes over the ant isn't just random acts, but it actually makes the ant turn into a zombie and walk all the way back to its other ant colony and try to get it to go right into the heart of the colony. And the reason for that is the spores want to spread to the rest of the ants. So they try to get an infected ant to infect the rest of the whole colony. So what happens is the other ants, they know all about this fungus, and when they find out that one of their fellow brethren have turned into a zombie, they take his body and they drag him as far away from the ant colony as they can, because they don't want the fungus to take over. So it turns out, when you look at the early stages of the ocean, you know how those scientists, they'll talk about how the ocean was actually barren for millions of years and didn't have any life forms in it? Well, that's actually pretty much established as bullshit. Well, it might not be, but... No, because the problem is, when you have the ocean, anytime rocks get wet, they start to grow different funguses. Or not funguses, they'll grow different... What is it? Moss? Fungus? Or no, I guess what is it called? Moss, trichins, all those different, like, they look like plants growing on rocks. It turns out a lot of those plants that like grow on rocks when they get wet will also flower at some point. And flowers, like, you know, flowers like perfume and stuff, not only do they have perfume in them, but they have sugars, because sugars are created in flowers. So say one of those plants happens to fall off and land in a puddle, and the puddle gets one of those flowers in it, then that flower puts the sugar in the water, and guess what happens? Then it starts to ferment. And then fermentation is one of the first funguses to ever occur on the planet. So then fermentation can split out into different funguses from there, and one of those funguses happens to be the zombie fungus. So it's like, isn't it kind of interesting that it was very early on in the development of species on the planet that there was already a fungus that could take over sentient forms of life. So it's like, whatever insect evolved on the plant first, it was going to be a victim of that fungus pretty soon. And then you had like coexisting of fungus merging with different plant species or insects. It's pretty fucking wild evolution from there. Now it makes you wonder what's all really going on in our universe. I'm going to exit this and come back and do it with a different fighting team. Let's kick some ass. Let's try that. Yeah, that's why you gotta be so careful with funguses. Who would ever thought they could like turn you into a zombie too, right? Like, mushrooms are so dangerous. I think that's one of the things I like about dangerous. It seems our mushrooms is I'm drawn to dangerous things. It's like, oh, I want to go camping. Let's go camp on the edge of a fucking cliff. No, that's where I was actually just before I joined the show tonight. I was on the internet checking out planning some of my future camping trips and exploring trips, and God, so many nice areas I'm going to be able to go to. Especially for my vlogging series. I was looking at some of the different roads that I can explore up north by my place. Some of them go to Prince Rupert. And that's like one of the bases on the fucking Hudson Bay, where fucking polar bears are around. So dear God, if I go exploring there, it's going to be one hell of an adventure. I'll have to bring a fucking rifle or something. They actually say you're not allowed to walk around in polar bear country unless you have a high-powered rifle. Because they say even a handgun isn't enough to stop a polar bear. And they go for people every time. As soon as they see you, they'll run for 100 miles to hunt you down and eat you. So it's fucked. You have to carry guns there. Yeah, I used to get spiked with mushrooms when I was a teenager, the hallucinogen kind. Now, I found for most cases, they're pretty mild. Like, they don't really last that long. It's not like you're taking a hit of acid and it's going to last like 12 hours or something. Nah, I'm not into the eyebrow shaving. Although I did trim mine because I was getting some of my eyebrows were reaching lengths that they're like passing my eye. I'm like, okay, it's time to fucking trim that shit. No, I do want to go camping really bad. My friends asked me if I wanted to go camping trips up north to my property last year, and I couldn't go because I had to stay to look after my uncle. It was probably for the best with the lockdowns anyway, but depending what happens with my uncle, if I'm still looking after him, then I won't be able to do anything next year. But if he ends up in the hospital and we can't look after him anymore, like on IV or something, or in one of those hospice centers, it's awful to say if that happens, but if it does, then I'll be able to start traveling again. I'm not going to just bail on him. No, he was always there for me when I was growing up, so I'm not just going to bail on him right when he needs people. Although it is tempting to. And I think with the lockdown, that actually gave me the strength not to bail on him. Because without it, I would have been tempted just to travel. Yeah, it's kind of an awful situation, right? Like, when you're looking after someone, your whole life is that. As much as you want to get your life back, you don't want to wish that they end up in the hospital. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a miracle and my uncle will recover, but I think at his age with Down syndrome, it would be one hell of a miracle. Alright, so this team is definitely not going to win. Looks like we're getting our asses whooped. So maybe I will just pause it, exit. We'll come back and do this another time. But I'll swap up the team again, see if I can do it any better. It's usually the best plan. Try a few things, refine your approach. Excuse me. Oh, thanks, Suki. Appreciate the flowers. Alright, I think the next thing we'll work on is we'll go into the guild, and before we do that, we'll get a quick message from the sponsor. Ooh, we got some rewards. These guild rewards were brought to you by Crack. Crack, it'll fuck you up. Woo! screens. Keep picking the wrong screens. Thank God there's no boobs on this one. Or is there? Alright, we're back. 20 challenge, 3 hours left. Yeah, let's spend 20, give him a challenge. I want a chance to hit the vape. Yeah, I was looking into some of the different things about immortality, and they're getting all these new treatments for like stem cells that could prolong your life for hundreds of years. Still seems a little bit far off now, but you never know. Maybe in our grandkids' lifetime they'll be able to live forever. Scary as that would be. Can you imagine the dentist bills after you reach 500 years old? You'd be like, holy fuck. Might as well just go with dentures at that point. Now I'm starting to get the feeling that my travel vlogging series up north, it's definitely going to be some content that will be original, because I'm not going to be running into a whole bunch of other YouTubers there, that's for sure. Well, maybe, but it'll be probably slimmer than other locations. And in one regard, that might make me obscure and I won't get a lot of viewers because I'll be doing places that no one searches, but who knows? You never know, right? Like even Bald and Bankrupt, he went and vlogged some really obscure places and people still ended up watching it. Because what happens is everyone in that whole village watched it because they found out that someone actually put them on YouTube. And then after that whole village watches it, then everyone that village knows hears about it and then they watch it. And so you never know, it can expand from there, right? And it would be neat to meet some fucking First Nations babes up north. I don't know, I've never really met many native women, but it seems like the ones that I have, it's like they're always so hot. Which I should be careful. I heard a lot of fights break up over that. Because they don't... Well, let's just say there's still some conflict between the Europeans and native peoples. Now, I think what it is like interracial couples in the States, they were like a big thing like early on in the 60s or whatever. And that's still sort of happening on First Nation reserves because they have the segregation thing where only First Nations people are allowed to live on the part of the land. So I don't think they would have many interracial relationships. Because you literally wouldn't even be allowed to live there. Well, they might make exceptions if you were already part of their family, got married into it or something. Yeah. I was reading something about the Mongolians, and apparently they like to sleep around a lot. Someone was saying it was for like genetic diversity, but I don't know if that was really it. Who knows? Maybe that's just a myth. They say Polish people like to get drunk all the time, and who knows if that's true. Pretty sure the getting drunk thing is universal. Cheers. Now, I used to hang out with a bunch of Polish guys that drank a lot, so there could be something to that. Maybe they're just party animals. Polish people like the sausage. Yeah, I have tried a lot of good Polish sausage. I shouldn't make fun of it. It's fucking, yeah, it's almost better than summer sausage, right? Yeah, I'm from a German town, so we know all about the sausages and sauerkraut. Although I'll have to be careful with sauerkraut because I had some rotten sauerkraut once, and that's when I started getting the worst stomach problems. So I was like, got to stay away from rotten sauerkraut. Because I was thinking sauerkraut naturally is just like fermenting cabbage, usually mixed with wine or salt so that it doesn't go bad, but it still ferments a bit, and that's what gives it that nice spiky taste. But anyways, if I was thinking that because of that it's fermenting, that it can never go bad, but it can still go bad, so you have to be careful. Learned that the hard way. I couldn't even eat sauerkraut for a while after that because I was like, fuck, man, I felt so sick after eating that rotten sauerkraut. Should have never chanced it. But fuck, it still tasted great. Thinking back, I probably would have been tempted to eat it again if I didn't get sick. No, I think, what is it, if you go to Japan, they do the fermenting sauerkraut or fermenting cabbage, but they call it kimchi instead. Or I could be getting it mixed up with China, I don't know. No, I'm pretty sure it is Japan. Or maybe it's Korea, who knows. Yeah, it's always thinking. They say that one of the best cures to get rid of fungus in your body is to actually consume a lot of funguses, like mushrooms. Because they said the more you eat, your body develops a tolerance to them. So I was like, I don't know how true that is, but... Another thing I like about mushrooms is if you take one of the spores from a mushroom and you inject it into like a neutral, what do they call them, petri dishes, so that it can just grow and expand. They show it'll branch out like a sort of like a snowflake, and branching out with all these hairs. And they say that they realized with science that they can take one little segment of that hair that grows out in the petri dish, and it'll have the trait from the mushroom. So they said, say one of the mushrooms grows a bit larger, they'll cut out that trait from that little stem and tree, and then grow it from there, and then all of them will be bigger mushrooms. And they said in the olden days, they were able to isolate those traits, and with one of the ones they isolated happened to be immortality. And it was from a mushroom species called the Nokian mushrooms. I think they're popular in Asia too. They're little tiny white mushrooms. So obviously your regular over-the-counter ones are not going to be the key to immortality, but apparently they contain one of the genes that you could isolate to do it, if you're good enough at isolating genes. That's one of the things I love about mushrooms. They're one of the most advanced sciences for what they can all do. Pretty fucking amazing. Like, they say it can even break down radiation from Fukushima or Chernobyl. Depending on the species of mushroom, they'll adapt. What BFGs did you have yesterday? If I was to guess, I think it was 2 you were saying? Or maybe it was 2.3, something like that? Now you gotta be careful with discovering the key to immortality. Because I'm pretty sure if you did, the creator would send some angels and they would pay you a visit. Like, that's not part of the plan. Alright, thanks for the 5 likes, everybody. Appreciate it. Even though today's episode is a bit of a weird one. Alright, we got the victory. That was pretty close. I was wondering what kind of battle I was fighting there. Almost forgot. Excuse me. Yeah, let's get some dislikes in there too. If you happen to vaporize some monkey poop from the Monkey King, if that happens, give the show a dislike. Everyone hates the taste of vaporizing monkey poop. Nah, that's why I'm lucky. There's no monkeys around here. So far, so good. No fecal matter has made it in. Let's hope not. Now today on the vape menu, I just got some Rick Simpson oil someone gave me, and some of my homegrown Ghost Train haze. Although the plant that I harvested this Ghost Train haze from didn't turn out very sweet. The same thing with mushrooms and the same thing with pot plants. They say when you get seeds for a pot plant strain, you should actually grow about 20 of them. But in Canada, we can only grow 4 at a time, so it'll take a while to do it. But they say the reason why you grow 20 is because when you have seeds for a plant, you're just getting random traits. So one might be sweet, one might be sour, one might be a little bit taller, one might be a bit shorter. So you never really know which trait you got until you grow the plant. So once you've grown all 20 seeds, and you find out that you got a plant that you like the traits from, then you take that plant and you take all your mother plants from it. So you keep trying to get the same traits. Most people do it with cloning too, so that way you don't have to fuck around with the whole seed process again. See, that's kind of a shame when some people buy an expensive strain of weed. They'll grow like 2 or 3 seeds and think, oh, it's not very good. Well, you never know. You might have grown a dud. Sometimes you have to grow 20 and you only get 1 or 2 good ones. I noticed that this year, out of my 4, I think 2 were good and 2 were kind of plain. So I was like, thank God, at least it was a 50-50 ratio. Imagine that's how they grow like different plants and vegetables. They notice the same patterns. If you want bigger tomatoes. Everyone wants to get their hands on bigger tomatoes, right? My grandpa was like legendary at growing giant tomatoes. Some of them would almost be as big as like maybe half of a basketball. So fucking like giant tomatoes. He just never wanted to ask how he got them so big. He's like, he pissed in the garden every day. I was like, ah. It's like, that's not what I wanted to hear. Now, apparently the ammonia in piss makes plants grow really big, depending on what plant. And tomatoes is probably one of the ones. Yeah, it's like one of those facts you never want to learn. Did anyone want to know how bees make honey? Scientists were actually perplexed about it for decades, well, maybe even centuries. Well, I guess thousands of years, really, right? Unless the ancients already figured it out. Yeah, 2 victories. Now, it turns out what bees are doing is they're ingesting the pollen that they pick up from plants, storing it in like a second stomach or whatever, and then regurgitating it back up and making it into honey. So it's actually bees' stomach acid is why it tastes how it does. I was like, man, that's pretty fucking nasty, but whatever works. I love honey, so I don't care how it's made. Yeah, so Spyro, how many tokens did you make it up today? Are you at 3? That'd be sweet. 3's not bad at all. You're looking at 33.3% of the way to 10, right? Now I'm looking at my account with the total bet, and I'm already at 4%. I never thought I'd make it to 2%. So hopefully I can keep doing these tricks that cycle the money. and I don't really have to deposit anything. And I can keep collecting the BFGs, because fuck, man. Collecting those BFGs is the most fun I've had in quite a while. I'm worried that oh yeah, that's what I was talking about to start the show. Did you guys hear about the global reset with the internet? How they're going to try canceling the internet? I was like, there's no fucking way that they could start canceling the internet, right? And blame it on terrorists. But then there was a big announcement today. It turns out one of the black market online retail spaces, I don't even know what it's called, like some sort of black web or something where you can buy illegal stuff. Apparently, they shut that down today. So I don't know if that has to coincide with the rise of Bitcoin. But something's weird going on, right? Like if they start attacking internet-based platforms, like they're even talking about how Facebook is getting banned in some countries because of what they did to Trump. So I think this idea about the internet actually going down is starting to look more and more plausible. Hopefully not, though. Surely it's just a pipe dream and it'll never happen. Man, that would suck, eh? And then I'd be like, oh, there goes the show. If I got no internet, how the fuck am I supposed to do it? Now, does anyone remember the internet when it first began? If anyone's that old here. Probably the only one old enough to remember. No, but when the internet first began, we didn't have internet service providers like in ISPs. What it was is if you had a website, you hosted the website on your computer like a server. Oh, we're crashing. Just trying to reset it, see if that fixed it or not. There we go, we're at red. Yeah, like I guess, what was it? That George guy, what's his name? Al Gore, that's it. Al Gore was trying to brag that the internet was started for the military quite a few years prior to when we started using it for public. And technically that's true, but when I was a kid, like in high school, we didn't have the internet yet because the internet didn't exist, but we had websites. So, here, let me try resetting it one more time. We're still in the fucking red. Alright, so went green there for a second. Yeah, so anyways, how it worked is if you wanted a website, fuck, it's all the way into red big time. Fuck. Can't even get a stable internet these days. Maybe it's that global internet problem. There, now it's back to green. So anyways, how it worked is you set up a internet website on your computer, like, and everything was set up, and then you typed in like a phone number onto a message board. So you'd be like, my website is like, say I had sports scores. So like, if you want Leland sports scores, log into this website. And how you would find my website is my phone number would be forward. Oh fuck, the other guy won? Son of a whore. It's probably because of the fucking internet cutting out. I'll blame it on that. So the downside to that is when people wanted to connect to your website, they'd be calling your house. So what your computer would be hooked up with to was like a modem, and you could transfer files over the phone line. And people might mock that and say we can never use that technology today. But it turns out it started off at 24K modems, then it went to 56K modems. But in modern times, those phone modems, they kept advancing, and now they're already at high speeds. So if the internet ever really did get fucked, all we'd have to do is if you had a website, set it up on your computer and share your phone number. Then anyone who has a computer and a phone line could just call your house directly and connect to you. You don't need internet service providers. I think what the internet service providers started doing was just like creating the www dot system. So instead of phoning people, you just typed in a website, right? Which seems kind of redundant. Like, why don't we just phone the fucking person's computer that has the website on it? Why are we even bothering with the internet service providers still? Especially if they're going to censor everything. Fuck them. Not in a good way. So that's why I don't worry too much about the global internet crashing and all that shit, because I'm like, if worse came to worse, we could just switch back to that phone system. It's not that hard to get your modem to phone a phone number instead of going to a website. They called it BBS systems. If you ever want to look it up, it's called BBS, like in the letter B, as in Bob. That's why I was kind of laughing when people started switching to Elon's Starlink internet. I'm like, well, what the fuck? If you have a phone, just use your phone to use the internet. Because that phone internet technology, it's already at high speed. It didn't stay at 56K technology, it kept advancing. Sure, it's not as good as fiber optic, but it's better than no internet, or better than Elon's super expensive fucking internet. Yeah, what is DNS? Dynamic server or something location? No, so when I was a kid and you wanted a list of like, you know, you have your favorites list of websites. My favorites list when I was in high school was like a list of phone numbers. And it would say like Dragon Ball Z pictures. That'd be website number one. It would have a phone number. So I could connect to someone's computer who had a huge archive of Dragon Ball Z pictures. And you can imagine what other kind of. I swear I wasn't looking up boobs. No, back in those days, if you wanted to wait for a picture of boobs to load, sometimes it could take like 12 hours. Can you imagine? For one picture. Talk about intense. No finishing quick in those days. Yeah, so ladies, if you find a guy with like 12-hour stamina, maybe it's because he's back from the age of 12-hour fucking waiting for pictures. Yeah, modems, that's it. Yeah, so the www is just a domain name system. They swapped that for phone numbers. Before, it's like if you guys wanted to watch Clone Evolution in the old days, what you would have had to do is just call my house and you'd connect to my computer. My computer would have an archive of all the episodes I've done. You know what's the funniest part of that? Some people would have their website set up like that and they'd put a time schedule. So they'd say, don't call my house after 8 o'clock because my kids will be sleeping or something. And then some days that would happen where we'd connect to their computer at like midnight, and then the next day they would phone you and they'd be like, hey, jackass, stop calling my computer at like midnight. What are you guys fucking on crack? It's like, no, we were on weed. Or no, we weren't. It wasn't legal then yet. I guess we were spiked at worst. No, I noticed what my library does in my city, like the Waterloo Public Library. They actually did that. They're for people that are poor and don't have a fucking internet. They can still just call the library and connect to their computer directly. So you don't actually need the internet to collect to the website of our city's library. You can just call it. So I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen with the future of the internet, right? Like, what is it, that parlor thing? They're so upset that they got taken down from the internet. It's like, well, fuck, man, just start a server and give people your phone number and people call, connect to it. You don't even need a fucking DNS or ISP. And as long as anyone has a telephone, they can fucking reach your website. All right, good luck, Spyro. Hopefully you get lots of awesome Bet Fury profits. What are we doing on time? Oh shit, the time kept resetting because I was restopping and restarting the stream. Holy shit, you're at 7 BFGs? Alright, let me give a shout out to everyone in Bet Fury now, because I imagine this stream has been going on a while. I forgot, I kept looking at the timer, I'm like, oh, it hasn't been an hour yet, but it's because I kept fucking stopping the stream and restarting it. Sorry, get carried away. Alright, so let's go to the Bet Fury screen, quick. Yeah, let's check out Spyro to see how she's been doing in the scoring. User number 1, looks like he's still just been collecting and not wagering anything. I'm still cool with that. I appreciate it nonetheless. Mr. Plexo, he's at 3,000. Cinder, holy shit. Cinder made it up to 54,000. Congratulations, Cinder. She has now passed Nutroll. Yeah, I'm not surprised if she's going to make it to the 10 BFG tokens and start collecting stake payouts soon. That's definitely inevitable with her soon. Unless they change something on the website, make it harder to gamble. I'm worried they're going to do that. Alright, Euros, he's at 13,000. Ilimantis, 800. User, 0. Kilo, he's still at 6 million, but he's been away for a few days, giving everyone a chance to catch up. Him or her. I'm not sure who a Kilo is yet. Alright, so Go Bastos, he's still at 1,000. And I'm pretty sure he might be logging in to play this soon, because I heard Spain, maybe not Portugal, but Spain at least had a lot of snow. So maybe they're outside playing in the snow, or they'll be back inside soon. And maybe doing some Satoshi bets. Let's collect some Satoshi. It was weird. Today when I was doing the free box captcha thing, it only asked me to do it once. I was like, sweet. And then I came back and it asked me twice. So I don't know if that was just a temporary thing they tested, or maybe I did it twice without even noticing. There we go. Even noticing. It's more likely the combination. Alright, so what else did I want to check on here? I think that's about it. My account's not... Oh yeah, I'm up to 94 BFGs, so I'm getting close to that Uber 100 mark. Because I'm really looking forward to 100, because I'm like, shit, if I can reach 100, that means I can do it 9 more times and reach 1,000. So that'd be pretty sweet. Hoping. Alright, so good luck everyone with the BFG, Bet Fury things, Clone Evolution. Let's get back to Clone Evolution and do one more fight before we wrap up the show. Sorry, I'm talking fast, but I'm missing hockey. Oh yeah, one more fight, we can do this one. No, it's funny, I'm not even really into hockey anymore because they changed so many of the rules. But it's the first game of a chance, in case it's good. Yeah, I was wondering, is there a way that you can transfer Satoshi to other players on BetFury? I know on the other Bitcoin casino you can. The only thing I noticed on the other Bitcoin casino, they had a huge fucking fee for transferring Satoshi. So I went to transfer some Satoshi to a girl I know, and all of a sudden I couldn't even afford the transfer fee. So it was kind of embarrassing because I was like, hey, baby, I'm going to send you some Satoshi. Next thing what happens, I'm like, sorry, I can't afford the transfer fee. So that whole plan of impressing the babes fell through. But yeah, just to give you a shout out warning, if there is a way to transfer Satoshi for a cheap price, that'd be sweet. I'd be happy to find out. Yeah, so who knows? Maybe one day my fortunes will turn around and I'll be able to afford transfer fees. That'll be fucking sweet. Now, as much as I hate not having money, in a way I love it because at least I'm not eating all you can eat chicken wings every fucking day. If that happened, I doubt I'd still be here. Yeah, today there was a new cable that arrived and I'm going to swap it because I'm reaching 0 a lot. So I don't know if 0, that's not very good for streaming. Let me try hitting stop again. Oh, there we go. It's weird because just shutting down OPS and restarting it usually corrects the problem. So I'm like, is it really the network cable if resetting the software is fixing it? Like you said, it could be lost packets somewhere and that's causing it. I got the new cable arrived today, so I'm going to swap it right out after today's show. Well, I got a whole bunch of work to do, so I don't know which I'm going to finish first. Oh, so that is a band-aid fix for it. So maybe that would explain why just resetting it is somewhat fixing it. It's fucking annoying because some days I'll be able to do like a month worth of shows, doesn't happen once, and then other days it's like it happens every other show. It's like fuck. It's annoying as fuck. That's why I want to switch to fiber so bad. But can you imagine I switched to fiber and same problem? So then it would be the network cables for sure. Yeah, some of the wiring is actually built like right into our house, like the walls for the networking cable. But I got some guy with the tool over to check it, and he said that that cable is still good. I don't know. I'm still tempted to just bypass it and run one on the other outside of the wall. Never know if a mouse got in the fucking wall and chewed it or something, right? Could be anything. That's a weird thing about animals. I found out the reason they chew shit is in a lot of cases they'll be grinding their teeth down because they need to, or it'll grow through their skull. Or in other cases, objects have salt in them, and animals crave salt so much that they'll just chew random objects if they can get the salt out of it. That's why they use salt lick as bait in the woods. Fucking animals love salt. Alright, so we'll wrap up the show, and I'll give a shout out to all the people that have been helping. We already did the Bet Fury thing. Let's do the regular Bitcoin. Then we'll give a shout out to the patrons. And we'll let the dungeon battle run in the background while we do it. Oh, so fiber really is dependent on how good your technician is too. That's pretty wild. I didn't even know that. Thanks for the tip. I'll have to keep that in mind. Maybe tip the technician, right? If they're even allowed to take tips. Right, so what do we got here? 147,000 today. That's pretty sweet. Someone must have been helping with my referrals. Alright, so now we're up to 147,028. Thanks, everyone. See how many I'm up to in referrals today. Holy, 71. We did get new referrals. Thanks. If anyone's one of the new referrals, I appreciate you guys for signing up. It's fucking sweet. Man, one of these days I gotta get a hero that does more damage, eh? That's the only thing that's keeping me back from beating this guy, so I can't do enough damage per hit, right? Right, so I got the list of patrons open. Let's check that out. Right, so yeah, the patrons is Jim, Ray, and Travis. Jim, Ray, Travis. Jim, Ray, Travis. JRT. JRT. No, I don't know if that's gonna be part of the song. Might try to make it more country. The new sensational hit from Jimmy Ray Travis. The new patron song. Every person who has patron, they'll be listening to that song. I doubt that. Right, what else did I want to wrap up for today? Maybe we can do a Satoshi spin? No, it's probably too early because it's only 8 o'clock. Now, I was thinking the Wheel of Fortune game, but they usually send me the ticket every night at 9 o'clock. So that's a little bit later. So we got that. We got that. All right, let's wrap up the affiliate links. No, the most important part, the viewer chat. All right, let's see who is all joining the show. We got Like C. Maybe that's how you say the name, Like C. I'm not sure, but sorry if I get that wrong. I get my own name wrong half the time. All right, so Fear Legions. Suki made into third. Thanks again, Suki. Um, Fear Legions. What's up? George Washington. Spyro. Vector. George Washington. And hey, no Pepe today. Maybe he's busy. We'll have to see what happens. Hopefully he didn't hurt his hand again. Who was it that had their hand injured yesterday? Holy fuck, let's check the updates on the Discord. See what's been happening there. No, sorry guys, I don't really... Well, it seems weird. I'm on the internet pretty much all day, but a lot of cases I'm reading, so I don't really have time to get into all this website stuff, but I'm trying to keep up with them. So Legions, hurts when I pee. I don't know where these other groups came from. I don't know why I'm a member of the hurts when I pee group, but I swear that never happens. For real. Thank God. It's one of the few pains I don't have yet. Alright, yeah, so let's check out the left screen and we'll take a look at the Discord server for Lelanders. If anyone wants to check it out, I swear I will remember to add it to the show description. I'm gonna have to fucking write it on my hand so I don't forget. Alright, so let's check it out. Okay, so if you want to join, it'll say, welcome to Lelanders Gaming. Maybe there's another Lelanders group. The name was already taken. Great stream, bro. Discord link above. Thanks, man. Alright, so we got that image. Whoa, that's a nice team. From Legions. Maybe I can make that bigger for people. I'm good at that. Alright, so it says here, welcome. Comment if you want to be a moderator. So Maple's here. Sweet. Oh, Legions. He's the one with the bad hand. Holy fuck. Man, that's brutal. I hope it's healing okay. Oh, God, I can't even look at that. Alright, so if anyone wants to post a new message, not to make fun of his hand picture, but we need some new content on there pretty bad. Whew. Can't even believe we were looking at that. Alright, so let's get back to the game. Holy fuck, today's like an hour and a half episode. I was just checking the clock timer. That's how I can tell how long the show's been going. Alright, so let's wrap up. If anyone else has any extra messages they want me to mention in the chat, go ahead now, and I'll try to finish up the rest of everything. Alright, so for the affiliate links, if you want to help out with Patreon, you guys seen who's helping out with that already. You can get yourself on the list into the new patron song, or you can be anonymous if you don't want your name to be involved. Definitely don't blame me for that. Society 6 is finishing quick is my specialty. Comes on t-shirts and bed sheets, both popular with the ladies. Hideout TV will pay you to watch videos. Swagbucks will pay you to shop online. I'm looking for my Swagbucks points from that big computer purchase. Hope that comes in soon because that's like a $200 one. So anyways, yeah, GameKit will pay you to play video games. Free Bitcoin is the free Bitcoin spins and the Bet Fury. If anyone wants to help with that, I got the click show more information button in the YouTube description below. And it also will take you to my website, the Judson Weebly, and the Virtual Mate Sex Machine link. It's for men and adults only. But if ladies need a sex machine, they know who to call. If the lockdowns ever end in Canada, which I'm not so convinced they will ever end, but let's hope. Alright, so the Virtual Mate Sex Machine, it's kickstarted, crowdfunded, all that jazz, but it has shipped and it could still be on sale. Make sure you check it out soon. Alright, let's do the fire screen. Alright, so for the fire screen, man, there was a whole bunch of stuff in the show we never got to today. Fuck, I was carried away talking. Sorry about that. Let's see what dice. I'm going to plan that hopefully the chess game is going to be back soon. So let's hope. If you get any ordinary dice from the chess game in your vaporizer, it tastes like shit, give the show a dislike. But if it doesn't happen, you can give the show a like. Really appreciate it. And just make sure, never buy the products from my sponsor, because it will ruin your life. Bye for now, everyone. See you later. Later. Later, skater. Yeah, let's hope most of the techs will be competent to come over and set up the wire. I probably am going to be switching internet within a week or two, so wish me luck. Hopefully I get a good one. Who knows, maybe I'll get one so good that we'll be streaming 4K. I highly doubt that, but we'll... Can't kill you to dream, right? Right, go Leafs, go! Hopefully we can beat the Habs tonight. And if not, I'll be cured of my hockey addiction. See you later.